Hi there, I'm Holly Brown, and I want to share one of my favorite dinner party ideas with you. Making Mexican tamales is not only a great way to please your dinner guests with a hearty meal, but making tamales together with friends is a communal cooking activity that gets everyone involved in the preparation and the fun. Our recipe for pork tamales and chili sauce makes enough for everyone to eat together with enough left over to take home or freeze. You know, at our house, we make tamales on New Year's Eve, but you can have a tamale party any time of year. The ingredients are always available and easy to find. I like to organize our tamale party in 3 easy steps. Step 1 is really doing your shopping and your prepping. First, you'll want to decide on your menu. Tamales are the star of the show, of course, so you want to complement them with classic Mexican side dishes that will look pleasing on the plate and let the tamales be the focal point. We typically serve black beans, Mexican rice, a nice light green salad, and of course we serve chips and salsa and my homemade guacamole. And of course, if you like, margaritas and sangria are always a fun addition too. Tamales do take an hour or 2 to assemble and steam, so ask friends to bring hors d'oeuvres to the party to munch on while you make tamales together. Also, I suggest you set your table in advance and set out everything you'll need so that when your friends arrive, you don't have to worry about any last-minute logistics. You want to be able to enjoy the fun along with your guests. Step 2 is cooking the pork and making the chili sauce in advance. I like to do this the day or the night before the party. Everything will actually taste quite a bit better when flavors have had a chance to meld together overnight. Start by browning the pork on both sides. Do this in batches until all the meat is browned. Then, return the meat to the pot and add your garlic, herbs, spices, and chilies. Make sure you add enough water so it comes just to the top of the meat. Bring it to a boil and then let it simmer for about an hour until the meat is tender enough to fall away easily. Once the pork is fully cooked, remove the meat from the broth and let it cool. Then simply shred it using 2 forks pulling against each other. Set the shredded pork aside and then start preparing the chili sauce. Be sure to strain the pork broth for use later because you're going to use it both in the sauce and in the masa. And then be sure to soak the dried chilies in hot water for about an hour in advance of cooking with them. You want to make sure that you cut off the stems and deseed them as well. The seeds are where the heat is, so proceed with caution when it comes to those seeds. To begin the chili sauce, simply sauté your onion and garlic in oil until softened and a bit browned. Then, combine the onion, tomato puree, softened seeded chilies, as well as some pork broth in a blender or food processor. And then blend to a saucy consistency. Now, back in a pot, add a couple of tablespoons of masa harina to some oil. Heat it for a minute or 2, and then pour your sauce back into the pot. The masa harina will help thicken your chili sauce. Now, add cinnamon, spices, and honey, and then let it thicken and simmer. In about 20 minutes, it'll start to turn a bit dark, and it'll really look glossy on the outside. That's when you know it's ready to go. Now, You're ready to combine a few cups of sauce with your shredded pork. But don't use all that sauce because you want to make sure you reserve enough of it to garnish with the finished tamales. That is going to be our meat sauce with our beautiful chili sauce.
You're making me hungry.
Now for the fun. Step 3. Get that party started. Assemble the tamales and eat. Now before your guests arrive, you want to make sure you grab the corn husks and soften them in hot water for at least 30 minutes. Make sure they're thoroughly dried before assembling the tamales. You could actually give one of your guests the opportunity to be in charge of drying the tamales before assembly. Before you get started, make sure everyone has an apron on and a drink in their hand, and then demonstrate how to dry, fill, fold, and tie the tamales. First, you want to open the dried husk and lay it flat. Put a big scoop of masa in the top center of the husk, keeping a margin of space around the edges. Then, lay the pork with chili sauce mixture down the middle.
Don't think so? I think maybe cold burger. You're right.
Well, we drained the last bottle of champagne, Holly. Should we go on to the next bottle of champagne?
Fold the husk over and bring the bottom up. Then simply tie it with a strip of corn husk. Everyone will get the hang of it after they've tried it a couple of times.
On the sides, here's just a little more of a trough that doesn't have on it.
So, say that again. What exactly you want?
Like,
so you don't want
To
any.
the edge here.
Okay,
Maybe
just
a little.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
That was
Beautiful.
That was the money shot right there, you two.
Let's. I'm gonna do one, and you tell me how this.
Show her a perfect one, Angie. Let me see a perfect. This one's a perfect one.
Beauty.
Yeah, that one's beauty. No, it's poking out the end.
This is going on my resume.
Yeah, I feel so proud with my new skills.
Peter's offering bubblies.
Yes.
Jack says,
Is that a trick question?
That was
A
like,
new model.
I'm not in it anymore.
no, you're
Once the tamales are tied, place them open side up in a steamer. And then once the steamer is full of tamales, place the steam basket directly over the steam and make sure there's water just filled enough so that you're not touching the tamales. Then cover your steamer with a lid and check back from time to time to see if you need to add any more hot water during the steaming process. I hope you and your friends will try a tamale party of your own. Tamales can be refrigerated for a day or two or frozen and re-steamed. You'll love the smoky chili sauce, and it's all gluten-free. We love communal cooking with friends, and we hope you do too. See you next time at thebrownlounge.com.